Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello-y. My name is Loey. I am equal parts so excited and genuinely terrified to film this video. You might already know this, but around 2 months ago, I took a work/fun trip to Japan and Korea. I got so sick right after my trip that half of the content that I made still hasn't gotten around to being edited and posted as I get into the spooky season swing of things. But today, I'm finally going to tell you about something that I bought while I was in Japan that when I purchased it, very jokingly was like, this thing might be haunted, and lo and behold, 2 months of paranormal activity later, was indeed very haunted. The exciting portion of this, for me at least, comes in that for a while now, I've almost wondered if I had outgrown believing in ghosts. Now, not completely, like I still often do see paranormal videos online where I'm like, no, I get the sense that this is real, but I mean in my own life. I feel like I've just started explaining everything away, and it just felt like something like, okay, am I too old for ghosts now? Did I turn 32 and decide that was enough of that? But as it turns out, no. Ghosts are very real. I have notes. What's up top here doesn't matter, but I literally wrote down notes so I wouldn't forget anything that this thing has done. So like I said, this all starts in Japan. I'm walking down Harajuku Street one day. I'm literally filming for a plus size shopping video when I stumbled across this little thrift store. Now, to my surprise, they had plus sizes. So exciting. So I went in and was scoping it out. But before I made it through the door, I look over and I see this 1,000 yen box of teddy bears. It's just a bunch of vintage teddy bears for, 1,000 yen, like less than 10 bucks. On the very top, on the very, very, very tippy top is this guy. I take one look at him. I feel like he has a certain aura. Let me get you guys a little bit close. Wow, he is just a specimen. And so you can understand immediately, me being me, why I had to have this bear. I love a stuffed animal. I love a slightly unsettling stuffed animal at that. He comes home with me that night. He stays in our little apartment in Japan, and I think nothing of it. Nothing really happens while I'm in Japan. He sort of weirded me out, so I would put him in my backpack and kind of shut him in the closet at night. And Grace, my friend who I was traveling with, kind of was saying the same thing. He definitely has a very specific aura, we'll say. He's the star of the show, so I'm just gonna keep holding him up like this until my arm gets too tired to do so. So Grace and I are spending some time in Japan for fun, and we're going to Korea for work. Now, we were collaborating with a couple of different K-pop artists out there, as well as doing some other things. We have a crafting podcast that I really need to get back to editing the episodes of. I have been so freaking busy recently. But we were in Korea for some of that kind of stuff, and one night she's out literally just going to get a snack or getting food or something, and I was in bed in our Airbnb in Seoul just ready to conk out. It is late for me, the jet lag is killing me. I'm ready to go to bed, except I can't fall asleep. I keep hearing what sounds as if somebody walking around the room, to the point where I get up and I look around. It's a very small studio apartment that I was staying in. I get up and I literally look under every single bed. I look in the closets. I look everywhere. It doesn't sound like somebody upstairs. It sounds like somebody inside of the apartment with me. I keep trying to brush it off, keep trying to go to sleep, but I can't ignore it anymore. When I had my suitcase open next to me and it was empty because I had unpacked all my clothes, and the vinyl kind of lining inside of a suitcase, I hear somebody step inside of it. I hear it moving. I immediately am like, this is so crazy. I text Grace. I said, how far out are you? There's either someone in here or there's some paranormal stuff going on. I'm laying down and stuff has been happening nonstop, and I'm low-key terrified to check. She says, wait, what do you mean? I said, girl, I looked everywhere in here because so much stuff keeps happening. It sounds like someone's moving around in here, and I keep falling asleep and waking up to what sounds like stuff moving, but no one is there. She immediately says, do you think it's the bear? I somehow get to sleep. I stay up so late that night, but the next day, this man goes back in my backpack because we are going from Seoul to Busan. Spent a couple of days in Busan, particularly the Gamcheon Culture Village. It was so beautiful. This trip was so beautiful, but this is sort of like a touristy area. And the Culture Village is this kind of walkable hike, I guess I'd say. It's such steep hills. Genuinely, I've never seen hills that steep in my entire life. Every tourist trap sells a lafufu. Okay, I don't make the rules. And Grace and I are like, how funny would it be if we had matching lafufus? We buy them, we unbox them. I think I literally talk about in this little clip that we filmed of us doing that the bear had been kind of weird. Earlier that day, the bear had like toppled over on the floor. And again, I was kind of like, maybe I did that, but I could have sworn I left him upright. I wasn't leaving him inside of my like backpack anymore because I felt kind of bad. And at one point, Grace looked at him and was like, I kind of don't think he likes being there. Like, I don't think he likes this area. I don't think he likes being on the floor. I was like, you're probably right. So I had picked him up and I had put him in this like chair next to the couch. As we're doing this unboxing, I swear to you, it genuinely seems like this thing is turning to face us. Now, to be fair, for being fair's sake, this guy is a little bit lopsided. You can see that he's sort of turned, his head is particularly turned in this direction. Could that be part of it in how I'm centering him when I sit him down? Potentially, but that's just what it feels like. Is like this thing is like watching us almost do this, but it didn't feel negative. And similarly to kind of what I was talking about in our soul place, we're staying in like a standalone house in Busan. And I keep feeling like I hear someone walking around, and it's much scarier in a house because it's attached. You can't like blame it on the upstairs neighbor, you know what I mean? And both of us, you know, we keep looking around, nothing's going on, nothing's there. But that's pretty much the extent of what happens in Korea. I then come home. I'm so sick when I first get home. I'm telling you guys, I have tried everything not to get sick when I travel, but I feel like I'm that person who comes home with a bug every single time. I came home sick. I feel like my colds always last like 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. So I end up putting him, as I'm unpacking, just very haphazardly, like, I just want to get this over with and go lay back down in bed. I put him with my other haunted dolls. I really want to show you my haunted doll collection, but it's so messy and some of them are still in storage and I really want to have it complete before I give you a tour. And I have quite a lot of haunted dolls with varying degrees of belief on whether or not they're haunted. Most of them from Etsy, some from other situations, but I do have a lot of them, and I just plop him down with everybody else. I'm telling you, every single day for the following week after I set him down, this man is toppled over every single morning. He has just boop, right on his side. And my very good friend, my brother's girlfriend, has been staying with me for a couple of months as well. She has been a godsend. I needed some help with the dogs when I went out of the country, and I've had like so much going on, and she's just been here with me and we've been hanging out and it's been fantastic. But she tells me one day, I don't think he likes being right there. And I'm kind of like, that's so weird because Grace, I didn't tell, you know, my friend this. I was like, Grace said this exact same thing when we were in Busan. I don't think he likes where he is. But the biggest problem is that I do not move him. And this is when all hell starts breaking loose. In no particular order, these are the things that begin happening over the course of the next week. My dryer door keeps flying open. It's so weird that I think that something's going on with me, like there's like a carbon monoxide leak in the house or something, and I'm forgetting to close the dryer door when I do the laundry. But I'll reach in and it'll be partially warm laundry. It's like somebody just yanked open the door. And like I said, I've had a friend staying with me, but of course she's not doing that in the middle of a load. No worries, it's probably the dryer door, except that the hinges are fine, it's latching fine. I don't understand why it keeps flying open. It does it on every kind of load too. There could be one item in the wash, one very delicate item or whatever that needs to be washed alone. The door will still fly open. It's weird, but I do not correlate it as paranormal. One night, my brother's girlfriend, she's in the bathroom right across the hall from here, and as she is in there, suddenly out of absolutely nowhere, and we had talked about the bear a little bit earlier in the day and the bear being a little weird and why is the bear toppling over and whatever, the light turns completely off and then all the way on. And I'm not talking like, you know, a little flicker or something. The light switch turns off and then turns back on. She was so scared she had to open the door to finish her business. She was like, this is so terrifying. I'm never going to the bathroom with the door closed again. There's a nightlight in there now, but it hasn't happened since. Just that one time, and literally just sounded like somebody turned off the light and it came back on. Oh my God, this was the worst one. Okay, so we're talking about all of this. We're talking about the bear being haunted. It's like later on in the same day, basically, from when the light had turned all the way off and then all the way back on. We're talking about like, the house has been kind of weird lately. There's just this weird feeling of like, somebody else is in here with us. You always feel like you're kind of like looking out of the corner of your eye. It just feels strange. We come back into the house and I kid you not, the house alarm starts going off. I have only ever heard my house alarm going, oh my God, Gigi just sneezed and it scared the crap out of me. My poor girl, she's just trying to take a nap over there and I'm yapping about a haunted bear. I've only ever heard my alarm going off when the power like shuts completely off and then back on. And the power hadn't gone out recently. I couldn't figure out why the alarm was going off. I go to enter the code, shut it off and whatever, and it says the dining room window has opened. I go and I check, and the dining room window is fine. But that's not the scary part, okay? That's not even the worst of it, because as I'm walking from the house alarm near my front door towards my dining room window, I both hear and feel, oh my God, it gives me chills, somebody breathing right in my ear. And it sounds like a man. I don't know how to explain it. It just sounded like a man going like that. Like it's so spooky. How is a breath masculine? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But that was such a jarring experience. And the reason it's even scarier is I had gone on a trip to Japan in 2023 with my other bestie, Eleanor. And when we went, we stayed in a haunted hotel and we did a spirit box. And it was low-key kind of a bust because I was like, let's do the Estes method. But I can't speak very much Japanese. So I could understand like 1 out of every 10 words that were coming through the spirit box, but I thought the Estes method might be the most interesting way to go. Nothing happens the entire time. And of course you guys can't hear this because I'm wearing headphones over my head. That method is basically like one person sits and they're listening to the radio as it changes the frequencies really fast. And supposedly you can hear spirit come through in sort of those changing frequencies or whatever. Nothing had really happened. And then suddenly, clear as day, I hear someone go, just, oh my God, it still freaks me out. I have such a visceral reaction to it. And so that is almost what that breath in my ear sounded like when I was in the living room, like walking to the dining room, you know what I mean? It wasn't like as intense. That one scared the crap out of me. I took off the headphones. I was so scared. I'd never heard anything. And I've done so many spirit box sessions. I've done this so many times that I've never been that freaked out by something that I heard. I hear somebody breathing in my ear and I say enough is surely enough. So I go and I clean off a space on my shelves. I have these like shelves built into my house that came with it. And they're where I store 99% of my things, my books, my vintage toys, my like haunted dolls, my dog toys, like genuinely anything and everything, crystals. And so I clean them off a space away from, sorry buddy, away from literally everybody else. I clean off a space right next to the crystals and I put him there. And for a couple of days, nothing happened. Dryer door didn't fly open. Lights weren't turning on and off on their own. House alarm isn't turning on by itself. Everything just seems fine. I am laser focused on this man though, okay? I'm waiting for him to move again because I'm telling you, it seems like that is what he does. He topples over, he moves, whatever. And again, I want to be like a bit of a devil's advocate here and say that when I put him forward, depending on where I'm looking at him, I might think he's a little bit lopsided one way or another, because if I put him straight with his feet, he'll be a little lopsided with the head. So I do want to throw that out there, that I know that maybe I'm not putting him down perfectly center. But I'm telling you, it feels like every single day when I wake up, he is turning a little bit more this way and a little bit more this way and a little bit more this way. And I have 10 million pets in my house, okay? But like they don't get on the shelves, ever. The shelves are so full that if they did jump on the shelves, everything would fall off and break. I'm very thankful they've never showed any sort of interest in them whatsoever. I don't think they're doing this, but I literally said if something else happens, I'll know he's unhappy with this spot too. And then a couple of days ago, as I am filming this, I come out of my bedroom and I look over and there's like this sort of like set of hooks that I have on my walls. And I have to do pretty much everything adhesive, not because I can't put holes in the walls, but because these walls are so thick because this house is so old. There's no drywall anywhere, unfortunately. So I'm used to sometimes hooks falling off the wall because eventually like adhesive just wears out. I mean, I have like command hooks and stuff over here and I have them fall off the wall all the time. And I look over as I'm walking out of my room this morning, I'm saying hello to the dogs and all that stuff, and I look over and my purses have just fallen off of this one hook in particular. And I'm like, oh my God, it must have finally like kicked the can. I'll have to like put the adhesive back on and I'll have to get it back up on the wall. And I look up and the hook has not fallen off. The biggest problem with all of the purses being on the floor is that The hook has a lip. If, I don't know, if things have been too heavy or something, they wouldn't just slide off. And nothing about the adhesive was even remotely damaged. It's still on the wall. And as I'm cleaning up the purses, I mean, I look over and it genuinely looks like he is staring in that direction. And that is pretty much where things ended off. Well, that wasn't really all. There have been like small things that have happened. I kept thinking I would hear someone in the house, and having someone else stay here too makes that a lot worse, because when I think something is a bump in the night, I'll usually pass it off. I'll usually be like, oh, I have the dogs and stuff with me, but when someone else is here with me, it's like, oh no, you heard that too. Oh no, you just saw what I saw. So I keep like hearing what sounds like someone walking around, to the point where I will investigate with a freaking kitchen knife and a flashlight, and nobody is ever, of course, here. It's not a situation of a squatter. Also, guys, trust me, I am so freaking paranoid. There are so many cameras around this home. It is not even funny. So I'm good in that department. But where I'm not good is that it just seems like someone else is here. You will see shadows pass out of the corner of your eye. Things will fall off the counter for no apparent reason. Like the other day, a broom flew off the wall and hit the floor, and I still don't know how it did it. So yeah, seeing shadows, just feeling like someone is around, like feeling like maybe you kind of catch something out of the corner of your eye, like a glimpse of something here, you know, whatever. But I wasn't taking it too seriously. And then today, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this because, like I said, it's terrifying when it's happening, but it's also so exciting to have something paranormal happen as a spooky YouTuber who hasn't had any of my own paranormal stories to tell for just years at this point, you know, aside from a few here and there. But this to me felt like it was like 2018, 2019 again, where I was having paranormal activity every hour of the freaking day. But I had finally decided to talk about it. I have not made contact with this guy. Normally I'm not too shy about that, but I am kind of scared of what I'm going to hear with him. I'm not opposed to it. I probably would record it because I feel like crazy stuff is gonna happen low-key. So if you guys have any interest in that, I will totally consider it, but I haven't made contact with him yet. Haven't asked him his name, anything like that. But I told him today, he was sitting on the shelf this morning, I told him, hey, if you're gonna live here rent-free, you gotta make it worth my while, okay? I'm gonna talk about you. Just as like a quick little heads up, you know what I mean? And as I was getting ready to film this video, I was making a cup of tea in the kitchen to enjoy while I was getting ready. My electric kettle suddenly turns on all by itself, and there was no water in it because I had just used all the water for my tea. I hear the switch on it flip. I see the light come on out of the corner of my eye, and then I hear the droplets of water like sizzling in the base, and I have to run over and turn it off. Like the entire kitchen smells like burnt, I don't know, air, burnt water. And I felt like I understood when my friend was like, I'm telling you, the light switch just flipped on and off in the bathroom that day where she had the lights go off on her while she was in there. Like that's exactly what it was. Somebody actually flipped the switch. I heard it and saw it with my own eyes. So I don't know if he's unhappy that I'm talking about him. I don't really know much with him. I know that he is really causing a ruckus and throwing things a little bit out of balance. My dogs are barking at nothing. I'm seeing shadows out of the corner of my eye. I'm having the craziest dreams. There is this unexplainable activity happening in the house and nothing repeats itself. That's what's weird. The dryer door, after I finally took note of it and I was like, is this paranormal? It hasn't happened since. Again, doesn't matter what size load of laundry I'm doing, it has not happened since. The purses, hasn't happened again. The light switch, even in the bathroom, hasn't happened again. I really feel like it's like an attention grab almost, and you have my attention, man. You have a whole lot of people's attention, so if you have anything to say, well, maybe don't say it. I actually don't know if I want to hear it right now. I'm home alone at the moment. Like I said, I think for a long time, I was really sad about the fact that I kind of wondered if I had grown out of ghosts. I sort of wondered if it was all in my head and if a lot of the things that I had experienced in the past had been taken out of context. And it is really, really, really cool to have it confirmed that no, paranormal stuff is real. I have experienced it. I will continue to experience it. I have it validated all of the time. But in a time in my life where I have become more skeptical, particularly with videos online, it's kind of crazy to have confirmation to this degree. With a haunted object at that, I have always, I mean always wanted a haunted doll, like a truly haunted one. Like you guys watch Kelsey Davies with like Lola and stuff. I've always wanted that type of haunted doll. And that's why I have so many, is I have literally spent years building a small collection, and I have, again, varying degrees of like belief of if they're paranormal or anything like that, but nothing, and I mean nothing, has ever happened to me with an object like this. Not to this degree, at least, in my personal opinion. Like I said, I've had these haunted objects in the past. He's moving stuff around, so I don't really know what that means. Some people have asked, like, how are you sure it's not Paul? If you're unfamiliar, Paul is my house ghost. He's pretty much the only paranormal activity I've had in the past couple of years. He came with the house. My house is very, very old. She's turning the big 100 next year. I think that's crazy. I need to throw her a party. Actually, I just thought about that. We've got to like throw a little shindig for her or something. But I lived here for so long. I have the feeling that Paul also lived here at one point, and his major concern is just that the house stays tidy. When my depression gets the best of me and the house gets messy, that's when I see Paul. That's when I'll hear someone flushing toilets, or I will see lights turn off and on when I'm like outside or something like that. So the light switch thing, that is a Paul thing, but he's never like tried to scare me or scare anyone. I don't know how to explain it, but whenever something happens with Paul, I've never really been afraid, because to me, he's just like my ghost roommate who also lives here, and like sometimes I see him, but for the most part, he's like, you mind your business and I'll mind mine. So for the most part, Paul kind of does what he does. I kind of do what I do. We don't really bug each other. Sometimes I notice him, sometimes weird little things will happen, but for the most part, like I said, if I keep the house clean, which it has been for a while because I have had just so much time at home in the last couple of months, he doesn't really bother me or like make himself known in any way. I literally feel like he just pops up to yell at me to clean. I don't actually mind it that much. I don't mind having a ghost roommate, but I don't believe this is him, and this is the only change I've had. And I've had paranormal experiences in 3 different places now. I don't know if you heard that. I really hope you did. There's my floors are like wood, and it sounded like somebody stepped on the wood over there. Ew. I don't know what to do. That's why I'm scared to reach out, because I'm scared it's gonna make it worse. I even really thought about not filming this video because, you know, when you kind of talk about paranormal stuff, it happens so much more. But I genuinely think it's the kind of coolest paranormal story I've had in a long time, and that's where the exciting part of it comes in for me. Because I do enjoy this stuff, and I have always had paranormal things happen to me, so it's been weird not to experience anything for a while. So I just decided in the end to talk about him with you. We'll see if that was a bad idea, I guess. Oh, a little bit about him, by the way. If you guys are curious, his tag, I don't know which side it's on. Randomly one day, it was out. It was like flipped out like that, and I was like, oh God. So it's from Gund, the brand Gund, and it's the, I'll write it out, the something bear, the Bialowski bear, and his copyright on the other tag is 1982. So he is older than me by over a decade. That's kind of cool. Yeah, right now he is sitting with my crystals. I hope he's happy. I really do. But like I said, if I'm gonna communicate with him, it's gonna be on camera because I'm too scared to do it alone. So you guys let me know if you have any thoughts, opinions, questions. It's not something where I'm like, I need to drive this spirit out or anything like that. I very clearly willingly brought him into my home. I'm not afraid, okay, I'm a little afraid, I'm a little scared, but I'm more intrigued. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Oh my gosh, my first paranormal story time in so long. This was so fun to film. In a big way, I'm so thankful for this guy, and I do wonder if he kind of found me, I guess, or if I felt drawn to him because he is a very active spirit, and he was like, I know you're not gonna get pissed off when I move some stuff around, you know? Either way though, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you to my dear darling bear companion for also participating. Everyone say bye to him. Goodbye, Mr. Bear. You can go sit down here for now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, giving me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A special thank you to my subscribers who are members of the channel. If you want to join the channel memberships and get extra members exclusive perks, like members only videos, polls help me decide on future video topics, and so much more, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.